microbiology. In this lecture, we will discuss about the morphology of bacterial cell. We have already covered the bacterial cell wall topic in our last lecture, in which we discussed about the gram-positive cell wall and gram-negative cell wall. Now we will focus on another things. So first we will draw the diagram of bacteria. So the uppermost layer of the bacteria is capsule. Okay, the uppermost layer of the bacteria is capsule. After the capsule, what is present after the capsule? After capsule, cell wall is present. Okay, next to the capsule we have cell membrane, and after cell membrane we have another structure that is called plasma membrane. Okay, sorry. After cell wall we have next structure that is called plasma membrane, or we can also say it cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane is the another name for plasma membrane. Okay, next to the plasma membrane, what is present? Next to the plasma membrane, we have cytoplasmic membrane. Okay, we have cytoplasmic membrane. Cytoplasmic membrane. Okay, now these are four membranes that contribute in the structure of bacterial cell. Now we will look at them one by one. First is capsule. So basically, if this is the bacterial cell, now how the capsule is made? Some of the bacteria start discharging amorphous viscid material. Okay, that is called glycocalyx. So what does they do? Some of the bacteria start discharging glycocalyx over the surface of the cell. If this glycocalyx is properly organized, okay, glycocalyx. If this glycocalyx is properly organized, it is surrounding the bacteria totally, then in this condition, this glycocalyx is called capsule. Okay, in this condition, this glycocalyx is called capsule. But if the glycocalyx is surrounding the bacteria in an unorganized way, for example, if this is the bacteria and this is the glycocalyx present over the surface of the bacteria, now in this condition, we say it slime layer. Okay, we will not say it capsule. If the glycocalyx is organized in an unorganized way, then we will call it the slime layer. Okay, there is one more difference between the capsule and slime layer, that is capsule cannot be washed off easily, but the slime layer washed off very easily. Now we will focus on the functions of capsule. So first function of the capsule is to prevent phagocytosis, prevent the process of engulfment. Okay, phagocytosis is the process of engulfment of bacteria. So what does capsule do? Capsule will resist the phagocytosis. Next we have complement mediated lysis. In the body of human being there are some proteins present. Okay, that proteins are called complement. Now what these proteins do, they will surround the bacteria. Okay, if the bacteria enters into the body, they will surround, these proteins will surround the bacteria and make pores in the bacterial cell wall. After making the pore, what will happen? All the material that is present inside the cell, bacterial cell, it will come out and ultimately lead to the death of bacteria. So this is called complement mediated lysis. Next we have biofilm formation. Okay, so basically biofilm formation, okay, let's take an example. What is biofilm formation? So for example, we have a medical device like catheter. Okay, we have a medical device like catheter. This biofilm is formed over any surface. It is always formed on the surfaces. Okay, for example, medical devices like endoscope, catheters, etc. Now what happened? For example, this is the catheter, or we can say that this is the plastic surface. Okay, what is it? It is a plastic surface. Now bacteria, a hospital, for example, we have catheter usually in hospitals. Now what happened? A hospital is a city of microbes. A hospital is a place where a lot of microbes are present everywhere. Now what will happen? For example, this is the plastic surface. Now one microbe will attach here. Okay, Another microbe will attach here, one more microbe will attach here, one more microbe will attach here. In this way, millions of microbes will attach one by one. Okay, when million of microbes attach on the plastic surface, they start signaling each other to know that there are more bacteria present or not. Okay, they will start signaling each other. When they get the signals that yes, there are more bacteria, there are million of bacteria like us, like we are present here, or many other bacteria are also present here. Now what happen in this case, these bacteria, every bacteria will start discharging some extra cellular polymeric substance. Okay, what they will do, they will start discharging extracellular polymeric substance, that is also called EPS. This extracellular polymeric substance is called slime layer. Okay, they will start discharging extracellular polymeric substance, and this extracellular polymeric substance will surround these all million of bacteria. Okay, now what will happen? This is called biofilm. Okay, this is called when they secrete these extracellular polymeric substance, that is called slime layer, and this slime layer will cover all the bacteria. Then this condition is called biofilm. Now what happened in case of biofilm? These biofilms, okay, these biofilms are more resistant to disinfectants and antibiotics as compared to simple capsules. Now you can assume why people always suffer from several infections after catheterization and endoscopy, etc. Okay. Next to the biofilm formation, we have capsules as vaccines. We can also use capsules as vaccines. Different type of vaccines are present against like pneumococcus, meningococcus. Next we have the membrane, cell wall. Okay. After the capsule, we have cell wall membrane. We have already studied about it in the last lecture. After cell wall, we have cell membrane or plasma membrane. Okay. So basically, cell membrane or plasma membrane is explained with the help of fluid mosaic model. Okay, this model says that the plasma membrane is composed of bilayered phospholipid. Okay, the plasma membrane is composed of bilayered phospholipids. For example, this. Okay, there are two layers of phospholipid, and in this bilayered phospholipid, some of the proteins are embedded that are called integral proteins and peripheral proteins. Okay, you can see the diagram on the screen where you can see that there are some proteins that are made by purple color. Okay, upper part is called integral protein and the lower part is called peripheral protein. And one thing more is that the phospholipid bilayered, okay, the bilayered phospholipid, or we can say the plasma membrane does not contain sterols. Instead of sterols, it contains some sterol-like substance that are called hapenoid. Hapenoids. You can see in the diagram, hapenoids are made with the help of yellow color. Okay. Next we have in the cell membrane, that cell membrane also contains some of the carbohydrates, means some of the carbohydrates are also embedded in the cell membrane. Okay, now we will focus on the functions of cell membrane. First is cell membrane act as a semi-permeable membrane. It will allow some of the molecules to move in and some of the molecules to move out. Okay, next we have transport system. Cell membrane also acts as a transport system. It has some enzymes and proteins that will carry some of the molecules in and out. Okay, cell membrane only allow the small molecules to move in and out, but there are also some large molecules that are required by the bacteria for its growth. So that large molecules are carried out by the enzymes and proteins that are present in the cell membrane. Next we have metabolic processes. So cell membrane is also the site of metabolic processes like respiration, cell wall synthesis, etc. Okay, next to the cell membrane, we have cytoplasmic membrane that encloses the cytoplasmic matrix. Okay, next to the cell membrane or plasma membrane, we have cytoplasmic membrane, and inside cytoplasmic membrane, cytoplasmic matrix is present. Okay, cytoplasmic matrix is present. For example, this is our bacterial cell. Okay, I'm not drawing it completely. This is our cell membrane. Okay, after cell membrane, we have cytoplasmic membrane. Okay, now this cytoplasmic membrane will cover this cytoplasmic matrix. Now what this cytoplasmic matrix have? They have different type of ribosomes embedded in the cytoplasm. So first thing is ribosomes. So ribosomes are the sites where protein synthesis occur. Okay, the ribosomes that are present in the bacteria are of 70S unit. Okay, next we have is, after ribosome, there are also some inclusion bodies are present inside the cytoplasmic matrix. Okay, inclusion bodies. Now what are these inclusion bodies? These inclusion bodies are storage granules. Storage granules. These storage granules are called inclusion body. Inclusion bodies. Okay. Now what happen in this inclusion bodies? They will store the food or they will store the energy during the conditions when nutrition deficiency is faced by the bacteria. Whenever the bacteria is facing nutrition deficiency, in that conditions these inclusion bodies will be formed, and once the healthy conditions arrive, these inclusion bodies will disappear. Okay, these inclusion bodies will disappear. Next to the inclusion bodies, we also have some mesosomes. Okay, now what are mesosomes? The cell membrane of the bacteria folded itself. Okay, the cell membrane of the bacteria fold itself to form some invaginations, to form some vacuoles. Okay, vesicles we can say, to form some vesicles. These vesicles are called mesosomes. Okay, so basically the cell membrane invaginate. Invaginate means it will fold itself. The cell membrane will invaginate to form some vesicle that are called mesosomes. Okay, now what is the function of these mesosomes? These mesosomes are the site of replication. These mesosomes contain some enzyme that work as mitochondria for the bacteria. Okay, bacteria does not contain mitochondria. Mitochondria is present in the eukaryotic organisms, but the mesosome work as a mitochondria and help in the respiration process of bacteria. Okay, it also plays role in the cell division. Okay, so this is what we call mesosome. Next we have one more thing in the cytoplasmic matrix, that is nucleoid. Okay, we all know that bacterial cell does not have nucleus, they does not have nuclear membrane, and they also lack true nucleus, but they have nucleoid. Okay, nucleoid. Now what is this nucleoid? The genetic material contain the double-stranded DNA. Okay, it may contain some of the bacteria contain single chromosome, and some of the bacteria contain double chromosomes, like Vibrio cholera contain 2 chromosomes. Okay, so this is the genetic material of bacteria. Okay, hope it's helpful. This is the end of our video. In the next video we will look at pili, fimbriae and flagella. Okay, hope you understand this process. Thank you. For more such videos, please like, share.